Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we aim to answer the question, what happens when you rent the luxury car in the rental car fleet? Throughout my career working, I've had to drive a lot of affordable rental car options, all of which fall within the acceptable corporate policy. They don't want you to drive something really nice. So for once, I decided, you know what? I deserve this. It's been a rough couple of years. I'm going to drive something nice instead of basic Mopars. So that's what happened. We find ourselves in Calgary renting the luxury class of the Enterprise fleet. The car that I was given for a 2-day trip into Banff National Park. And then over to BC to visit Yoho National Park. I find myself in a BMW 330 xDrive. 2-liter turbo, all-wheel drive, fun car to drive, but let's get to that. Starting in downtown Calgary, we drove into Banff National Park, where we had a cottage for a couple days. Absolutely beautiful scenic drive going into the Rockies. Highly recommend this to anybody. If I couldn't think of a more beautiful place to spend my time enjoying this car. Well, I almost feel reluctant to admit that I enjoy driving the car since it is a BMW and this is, for the most part, a Mopar channel, but I'll admit it was nice. I've had this thing for the last couple days, so thought I'd do a little review of my experience with this car. So this thing has a 2-liter turbo, pulls pretty good. This one's the xDrive, it's all-wheel drive, so this thing just comes out of the hole pretty crazy regardless of circumstances. So at one point I found myself on a gravel road up the side of a mountain doing a little bit of rallycross. That was some fun. But anyway, things I like about this car. The handling feels great. Maybe a little bit numb sometimes, a little too electronic. I had to shut off a bunch of the feedback stuff, like the lane departure assistance tries to take over the steering wheel, and that is, I really don't like that. And you can't disable it. There's just, you can turn it to light. I found it to be too sensitive, and even if you're not going into the lane, I don't like the idea of anything taking control of my steering wheel. It just freaks me out. So that's good. Power's good. Traction's great. I love how the all-wheel drive works. It just seems to scavenge for traction. It's comfy. It's quiet in here. This thing has a sunroof. That works really well. The interface is a little confusing, and I find throughout this car, I guess I'll get to the bad. A lot of the buttons and things don't really add up with a lot of other vehicles. Like BMW's trying to do their own thing, and I just don't see why there's a purpose to reinvent the wheel. I don't know if other cars use this, but this shifter really sucks. It has reverse, neutral, or drive, but you have to press this button to switch between reverse, but you can go into drive without the button. It's almost like a reverse lockout, but it just seems counterintuitive. Park is a little button on the back side of the shifter. I'll show you that in a sec. Anybody who's used one of or seen one of these, the infotainment has this weird kind of knob that works out okay. I like these driving modes.
so you can have individual profiles for like Sport, Comfort, and Eco Pro, which I took advantage of. The good thing of the shifter is you have that kind of manual shift mode where you can kind of pop the shifter over to one side and then you can shift forward and back. These seats are good and bad. Like the bolstering's great, and I like that you can adjust it, but I'm kind of fat and I feel like I'm sort of shoehorned into this thing. I maybe I'm wrong. I couldn't find a lumbar support, but otherwise that was okay. The one great thing was the extendable seat pan. So people with longer thighs, or if you know anything about ergonomics, it helps to have maximum support on your thigh. So throughout driving this thing over several hours, I didn't find any sort of fatigue or discomfort. So yeah, there you have it. It's all the little details like these little metal buttons and these metal kind of knobs here. Let me get into the console here. So this is that shifter I'm talking about. I honestly, I was so against the knob, but at this point, I think the knob would be more effective. I'd rather have a knob and flappy paddles than this thing, but it gets the job done. This works out okay, but it takes a little getting used to. Otherwise, I don't mind because it's easier than having to reach up here and paw the touch screen. So and here we are in beautiful Banff. It's been a pleasure having such a lovely vehicle over these last couple days. Would I buy one? Probably. I don't know. If I was rich. But hey. Yeah. So, let's start her up. Hold the brake, push the button. It's alive. Yeah. Does a whole lot of dinging. There we go. Ow! Come up with a fun name like Slop Car Reviews or something.
Slop Car Reviews.
I'd like to comment on the fact that I've never driven something this nice in my life. I'm sure that could appeal to other people.